Where is everybody?
I went.
Because I'm.
Where are you?
I'm in the docks or whatever. Kurast. Oh no, my weapon broke. My stinking weapon broke.
Aren't you healing your stuff?
Unbelievable.
You gotta repair your items.
I thought I had the last time I played, but maybe not.
There are a few items that are unrepairable, but they tell you that they are.
Was it an ethereal item?
Yeah, the ethereal stuff.
I don't think so. I'll look.
No, I'm not.
I'm trying to figure out who in the docks can fix that. Ormus, maybe?
I think any. I can't remember. There is someone who repairs, but you have to.
It's usually the blacksmith person.
Sean and I just beat this afternoon because I didn't know how long
we started
it was.
and beat it.
We started it and we beat it this afternoon. What Remains of Edith Finch.
Nice.
Have you played it?
No, I've heard of it.
Oh.
It's good.
You should play it. Recommend it.
Dean.
Can't talk about it, but recommend it.
The only thing I'd say would be a spoiler because it's just that compacted of a story.
Nice.
I highly, highly recommend the game. Very impressed with it. It's my second walking simulator that I've played, and it's a good one. And everything I hear about walking simulators is supposedly bad, but I've had nothing but good experiences with the two that I've played.
Nice.
What was it called again?
What Remains of Edith Finch.
Huh. I don't think I've heard of that.
It's super good. I was very impressed with it.
Which direction did you... I'm over encumbered. I can't carry anymore.
Have you seen the cartoon Yellow Submarine by the Beatles?
I can't remember if I've seen, like... I'm aware of it. I don't know if I've actually seen it.
I like it. It's very, very trippy.
Nice.
It's a stoner movie, but you can enjoy it without being stoned.
You're a total stoner. I know.
How we doing, gamers?
Hi, Jacob. Good to see you.
I was gonna play my PlayStation, but there's a system update, so I can't.
They still can.
So what are they updating? The price of PlayStation Network?
They added remote play. Like you can do remote play from your phone and stuff now.
You can play PlayStation 4 games with your phone.
It doesn't work very well, but I mean, just because I got a really tiny screen on my 5S, and it's like my fat fingers are in the way.
I don't understand.
I don't understand what you mean.
When you say remote play, how does your phone play? There's two different hardware. How does your phone play a PS4 game?
It's streaming.
It's streaming it to your phone.
Oh.
Why would you do that?
Just because you can. I've done it for my Vita before. I wanted to play Rocket League on my Vita just because I could. It was actually kind of fun. But the difference is with a Vita, you actually have decent controls, and you're not using touch controls. They need to make a cable that plugs into your phone. Just obviously, they got to make one for iPhone and for Android devices and whatever. But like, they ought to make a cable that can link to an actual PS4 controller, and then you could do remote play. Like, that would be pretty tight if it worked well and you had a good connection, like while you're traveling or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just make it work with Bluetooth.
Yeah, that too. I didn't think about that.
You can already do that with jailbroken phone.
Well, they need to make it where you don't have to jailbreak.
Yeah, they do.
All the fun things are done through hacking and stuff.
Hackers make the world a better place.
They do.
I disagree.
What? They come up with awesome ideas that eventually those companies then take and sometimes will make them legit.
Yeah, but hackers are also able to ruin people's lives.
Fair enough.
Maybe a hacker should be a term for people who like steal people's identities, and modders should be the term for people who actually make the world a better place.
Yeah, modders. Modders are awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that they've made 4 Just Cause games now, and modders have added multiplayer almost every single time, and then they still, the company, they keep making new ones and they don't add multiplayer. It's like, what?
Well,
you guys.
The problem with 3 and 4 is that they're only playable on PC. On console, they're literally unplayable. I have just Lost on PS4, and it's literally unplayable. I want to like it, but there's just no way.
That's so weird. It's like they're setting themselves up for failure.
I played it at a game marathon, and my friends were giving me crap about how they thought the game looked bad. I'm like, you have no idea how much is going on in this game. I'm like, this isn't The Order, where it's like the most freaking
Are you talking
linear.
about 1886, The Order?
Yes.
That game sucks.
I know, but like they were so impressed with how good that game looks and stuff, so I was using it as an example. I'm like you guys think The Order looks good, but it's like the most linear piece of crap in the world.
Right?
You can
make
of course it looks good.
You can make any hallway look good.
Yeah.
Like a movie than a game.
I actually kind of liked the story payoff in that game, but then it was just, man, it just was not a satisfying game.
What is it about? Because it looks like 1800s people with like Ghostbusters weaponry.
Yeah, it's like, it's, without trying to spoil anything, like it's got like lichens and vampires and stuff. There's actually kind of some cool stuff that happens. The problem is, so you're playing this game where these guys have weapons created by Tesla himself. You get pretty far into the game before you even get to use a Tesla weapon. So, and then, you know, like, you still end up just using a ton of, like, normal weapons. Like, you're using shotguns and assault rifles, and where it could be this wild sci-fi fun experience, it turns into, like, just way too ordinary. It just feels so grounded in that time when you could just do like you could do an alternate reality where it's like there was all this advanced weaponry that, that Tesla made, and, you could have had like all your weapons like shooting electricity and stuff, like, but instead they had to make it, they were just starting to experiment with these things, and he was just starting to develop these things. And it just ends up not being that interesting. And it's super short, too. I want to say like 6 hours total.
Have you played the Resident Evil 2 Remake?
No, I haven't.
I want to, really.
Yeah, I kind of want to.
What about the Devil May Cry 5?
That, too.
That looks really good. And I like that style of game. Mm-hmm. Like, I really like the... What would you call that? Like character action,
it's
combo heavy.
Yeah,
hack and slash.
I've been told the combo system in it is super good, but it's like different for every character. Every character has like their complete different gameplay.
I really want to play Darksiders 3. Like,
same.
Like, it sounds like it's actually pretty fun. I mean, I feel like the biggest knock against it that reviewers had is it does seem kind of dated. It's kind of more of that, and graphically they didn't have a huge budget to make it, and it just kind of feels like a last gen game in a lot of ways. But I've heard it, like, for what it is, like, it's actually really good.
I'm totally okay with that because I love the first two games.
When you start that game, you can choose to play it in a style that's more like the first two games, which they added after they released it, or you can play it the way they originally designed it, which is kind of more inspired by like Dark Souls and stuff.
Jake, I beat a game today, Sean and I together.
What's that?
What Remains of Edith Finch. Have you played it?
No. Isn't it like a point and click?
No, it's a walking simulator.
Oh, same thing.
No.
Not the same thing.
Point and click and walking simulators are not the same thing.
Not the same thing.
You could argue that Telltale's new style of point and click is a lot more like kind of walking simulator-ish.
Yeah, Telltale games are more just stories.
Yeah.
Games.
Bankrupt. Telltale's basically just bankrupt.
Yeah, literally they are now.
I tried playing Game of Thrones Telltale because I thought it was some other type of game, but it wasn't. I lost interest in it really quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I've been told that it's basically just a movie that you get to choose what happens to the characters, but your choices don't really matter, which that sounds horrible.
Basically.
I read that a lot of the staff for Telltale came from our ex-LucasArts employees. So it's like, oh, that's super cool. But then the more I research these games, it's like they were like, well, the modern gamer doesn't have patience for puzzles anymore, so we're just gonna make movies, and then you choose what happens in those stories. Like basically choose your own movies instead of choose your own adventure books. You know.
I don't like the fact that developers keep assuming what modern gamers like.
Oh, modern gamers don't have the patience for these puzzles. But it's like, so then you decided that you thought that they'd have the patience to wait on the episodic model.
Right.
And it turns out a lot of people lost interest. Like, that happens over and over again. Like, they take way too long. They don't have like a set schedule of release. It's like you get done playing episode 1 of something and you have no idea when the next episode's gonna hit. You lose interest. It happened to me. Like, I played The Wolf Among Us, and actually I was like, wow, that first episode, it ended on a cliffhanger, and I was interested, and I'm like, this is cool. And then it took a while for the next one to release, and then I just kind of like got wrapped up in other stuff and never did go back to it. I had played all the way through Walking Dead, the first season, and then I got to that Wolf Among Us, and I got really impatient with, I liked the story, but I was like, how do you guys still have these crappy games that have all kinds of frame rate issues and it's just like, yeah, like there's times where there's like lots of lag and
they run all of those games on a super ancient engine.
Yeah, it's like,
what the heck? If you're gonna make an interactive movie that's supposed to be immersive, why in the world would that would be like the biggest priority for me. Like, if you're gonna make a game that tries to be a movie, then frame rate has to be perfect 100% of the time.
Exactly. So
if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably due to spending issues or budget.
Yeah.
Why do you think Bethesda doesn't make a new engine for their open world games? Because they can make them faster.
It's a well-trodden path.
But see, Bethesda is their games are doing enough interesting things that I can kind of put up with the jank. But then, like, when you're playing something that's like almost entirely just like this story experience,
basically an FMV.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it really gets to you after a while. You're like, I can't do this.
That's kind of true with Bethesda games. Like, it's like a super old engine, and it gets frustrating sometimes, but like sometimes it's fun to just see how you can break it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I've seen mammoths fall from the sky in Skyrim, and have had people glitch under the floor, and I can't complete a quest. I've laughed and I've hated it at the same time.
Bethesda is janky in an entertaining way. Not always, though, because like I remember I heard the PS3 version of Skyrim had like save issue, like it was deleting saves, or it's like, no, that's not cool. Like, I can deal with jank, but
even though
you're gonna lose my save progress, I'm gonna get ticked.
The thing about Bethesda is their modding community is fantastic.
Yeah,
such a good modding community, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're like if they were to just build a complete new engine from ground up, well, then there goes the modding community, you know, right?
Yeah.
And they decided to embrace the modding community from the start. They did the same thing with Black Ops 3.
Which reminds me, you guys having fun playing COD BLOPS?
No, because Ian and I haven't been on at the same time.
It's called Black Ops.
No, it's called COD BLOPS.
So is that really the short for it, Jake? Because you just didn't even get phased by the fact I called it COD BLOPS.
Well, some people on the internet call it that. I don't really.
Well, I heard it and I was like, what?
He was focused on the disappointment that him and I have not played zombies yet.
He was, I know. I didn't get a reaction from the COD BLOPS.
I did.
I thought it was a totally different game.
I wouldn't even mind playing multiplayer. I just want to play. I've been playing other Call of Duty games because Black Ops 4 kind of got old.
What? Your $110 game got old?
I've been playing Modern Warfare Remastered and also World War II because World War II is probably my favorite multiplayer Call of Duty. Modern Warfare Remastered is just super super old fun. World War II has the best multiplayer because the supply drop system is like the most generous that it's ever been, and it's also just, for some reason, World War II weapons are just super fun to play with.
Who made that one? Was it Sledgehammer?
Yeah.
The zombies mode for it was kind of
Yeah, it wasn't really that.
Oh yeah. I really like the multiplayer in Black Ops for some reason.
I like it. It's just I'm waiting for there to be a no specialist game mode. It doesn't really have lanes like the newer ones do.
Yeah, it seems like now Black Ops is like all about lanes.
Yeah. What
do you mean by lanes? Because when I hear the term lanes, I think of MOBAs. What do you mean by lanes?
It's exactly like MOBAs. 3 or 4 different lanes that go through the whole map.
So are they hallways then? Like you got 3 or 4 hallways and you just push through those hallways?
No, there's like little buildings to go in and stuff, but like if you look at the map, it's generally like 3 lanes.
Have you ever been on Interstate 35?
Nope.
Really? Have you been on Interstate 80?
No, we don't use interstates.
No, we don't use interstates.
Have you ever been on 235?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't know how to explain it to you.
Well, go ahead. Let's pretend I was at one point in my life on 80 and I was on one point in my life on 35.
So there's like traffic going one direction and there's traffic going another direction, and it's separated by like a painted line on the road. If it's a dash line, it means that you can pass, and if it's a solid line, it means that you can't pass. Does that make sense?
No.
No.
No. Someday when you're driving, I'll try to help you understand.
We don't drive, Dean.
Oh, you take the bus?
No.
You just walk?
Yes. We have our walking stick and we walk.
Walking.
We just use walking sticks. That's how we get
going
to
on.
work.
Yeah, so basically, as far as lanes in Call of Duty, Jake may have sufficiently explained it. I think I was too busy thinking about my dumb joke, so...
It was a complicated one.
What joke?
Where he was trying to explain what lanes are and what I-235 is and what I-80 is, and
You know what joke? Don't play dumb.
I guess I missed it. Hello?
But you guys didn't see that joke?
What joke?
It was huge. Looked like a Bigfoot.
who just joined and left?
No Face is in here, but he has a mute thing on his mic, I think.
Oh, hi, Bryant.
Hi, Bryant.
Welcome to
Okay.
the podcast.
Hello, I made the podcast.
You might either turn down your mic just a tad or put your face farther away from the mic.
Okay. I really just came in to eavesdrop, so.
You could be our guest appearance. We were just talking about lanes because so how the conversation started was they were talking about Call of Duty and they're talking about lanes, and I said I don't know how lanes would work in Call of Duty because my only experience with lanes in a video game would be a MOBA like League of Legends, and Jake went into a little bit of detail to explain it, and then Dean started cracking jokes about how I don't know what an interstate is or what painted lanes are or passing lanes.
Well, I guess I'm pretty much an Aaron's boat then.
Yeah, and this whole family doesn't use cars.
Yeah, our whole family is carless.
Bunch of hobos.
Hobos.
Well, Brian's from San Diego, so he knows all about hobos.
Absolutely. Eva deals with them all the time in the ER.
Oh, that's crazy.
What, they get in fights and throw each other in front of trains or something, or?
Just out on meth, and now California has rules about making sure that you feed all the hobos, so.
You have to feed hobos?
In the ER, yep.
What?
Oh, well, no wonder they want to be there.
California,
that's why they're
by
getting into
law in
fights.
California, you have to feed a hobo?
Well, don't you remember? California.
Yeah, they have to offer them food, clothes, social work, a place to, like trying to find them a place to stay.
Really?
Yeah,
Super cool.
it's a bit of a thing. kind of detracts from our ability to actually just be a nurse.
That's crazy.
That's insane. So then what do the churches in San Diego do?
Yeah, that's a great question.
The state is doing everything the church should be doing. What is the church doing there?
They're making bank because they don't have to help anybody because it's already taken care of.
They're just taking in that tithe.
Hopefully they're doing something of their own, but I guess the state doesn't trust the church to take care of the problem.
I'm sure there's plenty of examples both ways.
There's a lot of distrust of churches that happens.
Speaking of which, I heard on the news that there was this janitor for a church down in Jacksonville, Florida. He was molesting a teenage girl from their youth group in a janitor's closet, utility closet. Okay, the part that's amusing about it, though, is that he actually turned himself in after doing it and posted on Twitter, "Parents, keep your children and young people away from manga and anime. I am an idiot." Is what he posted. It was like the last thing he posted on his Twitter page before he turned himself into the cops. So he's blaming his poor choices in life and his horrible decisions on manga and anime, and I thought that was actually kind of funny. And
the guy that's responsible for, who's that? Is it Miyazaki that made the Ghibli stuff?
Yes. Yep.
There's always like a meme picture with like a quote from him that says "Anime was a mistake."
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's actual, like he said that, or if it's a fake thing. But it always makes me laugh.
See, when people ever ask me if I like anime, I have to be very careful what I say, because I do like a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff, and I do like Hayao Miyazaki. I think he's a great artist, but there's just so much junk out there, you know?
Yeah.
So like, you have no idea what kind of crowd you're gonna be talking to when, like, there's two different meanings of anime. It seems like it's like saying, it's like going up to someone and be like, "Hey, do you like rock music?" Or, "Hey, do you like EDM?" Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of rock music? You know, what kind of EDM music?
The only anime that this is just Dragon Ball.
Okay, so you know how like Guilty Gear is not going to be at EVO this year. Under Night In-Birth is.
Okay. And
so Melee comes into the party and is like, "You stupid like anime weebs and stuff like that, kicking me out of EVO so you can have your stupid Under Night In-Birth game or whatever." And Under Night's like, "Dragon Ball, you should back me up." And then the guy who's impersonating Dragon Ball is like, "Dude, I had higher viewings last year than Street Fighter. I have transcended anime."
Speaking of that, I'm surprised you didn't freak out more about Melee not being there.
Freak out? What do you mean?
What kind of freaking out are you wanting that you're never that satisfied?
Aaron and Sean aren't really the freak out types.
You don't say anything about it.
Well, I think it's a good thing that Melee's not there.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think Leafin and Armada are retards, because you don't hear Street Fighter V players complaining that Third Strike is not at EVO. Everyone has moved on. You know, like Third Strike is about as old. Third Strike is like a year or two older than Melee. Yet Melee constantly is at EVO, and people have asked for Third Strike, and they've said no, but they've said yes to Melee because Melee's brought in so much money. Well, now that they have Smash Ultimate, which is a great game, it's brought a lot of people to Smash Ultimate. I think has done a better job of bringing the FGC together than Melee has. In fact, Melee has actually caused problems within the Smash community because of how stuck up some of the top level playing Melee players are. So I think them saying, you know what, it's not feasible to constantly bring in a shipload of CRTs just for one game, while all the other games we can use the same monitors that we have at EVO.
Yeah.
So we have Smash, so you guys should be happy. We've got Smash, and then like the Melee community is not happy at all. Like the Street Fighter V community, like yes, they want Third Strike, they're never gonna get it. It's too old of a game. The Melee community, instead of them being like, well, at least we got Smash Ultimate, no, they're all like, no, we need our game in there, and it's just super immature of them.
I don't think how old the game is even matters. Well, the point of EVO is watching other people play a cool game, and Melee is the coolest.
The matter of fact is that you're not going to please everybody, and things do have to change eventually. Melee was going to have to be moved eventually out of it.
And it's not banned from Evo. People can still have Melee tournaments.
It's totally still going to be streamed on B-sides.
It's just not going to be a main stage event. They've moved on to just the new Smash game, just like every other game has moved on to the new game. A lot of people were upset that Guilty Gear wasn't on this year, but then they were like, you know what? Guilty Gear's been on since 2014, so we'll let Uniest have its chance.
I thought I had heard that one of the issues with Melee is it just getting stagnant in terms of interest from people, because you get a lot of pretty much the same people winning all the time, and it hasn't really changed
down
much.
to like Leafin, Armada, or Mango, or Mewtwo.
Well,
although the thing I'm confused about is I don't understand why Armada is so angry about this when I watched his public announcement on YouTube where he said, I'm done playing single tourneys for Melee. So I don't understand why this is so upsetting for him when he has basically said, I'm willing to do doubles, or I'm willing to try something new, but I'm done with single tournaments for Melee. And so then they take Melee off of Evo, and then he has a baby fit about it? Like, wait a minute, I thought you walked away
He didn't have a fit, he just explained that he was unhappy about it.
But he walked away from the game himself, at least from single tournaments, and that's all. Evo doesn't do double Melee for their main stage events.
Yes, but the point is that Melee is like the funnest game to watch.
That's debatable. Dragon Ball right now, like the hype, even though I personally don't like Dragon Ball, I would say Dragon Ball right now is like the hypest game within the Evo community.
But why? It's just another tournament fighter.
Smash isn't?
No, Smash is like a brawling
Party game?
platform fighting game.
A brawling platforming fighting game.
It's not a tournament fighter.
Are you saying like when you say tournament fighter, you mean like 3v3 like Marvel vs. Capcom?
No, I'm talking about like there's two people on the left and the right side, and it's like a flat background. And
Gotcha.
There's two.
So it's like a typical. You're saying it's a standard 2D fighter. In other words.
Exactly. Melee
Gotcha.
is different from that, and it's also extremely fast-paced, which is why it's so much fun to watch.
Dragon Ball is totally fast-paced.
Dragon Ball is extremely fast-paced.
I can barely watch it. It's so fast.
It makes me dizzy watching people play at a high level.
Melee was different. Melee was the unique one.
Okay, here's what I don't understand. No one's upset that Third Strike's not there, but everyone's cool with Street Fighter V being there. Why is the Smash community upset that Melee's not there, but their newest iteration of Smash is there? Their newest iteration of Smash is as close to Melee as any of their other previous Smash games have been.
Yeah, but it's still not even close.
You told me you liked Smash Ultimate more than Melee.
I do, but it's not. It's
Then
not
why,
as.
why do they need both games there if you like their newest flagship? If you like their newest flagship, why does their old stuff have to be there?
Because it's just they're even though they are like Ultimate is fantastic, it's a great game, but like Melee is like it's got like
Falco, Sonic,
fast-paced nature to it that no other game can even like come close to. Like they tried to do some things with Ultimate and it worked a little bit, but it's not even close to as fast-paced as Melee was. It's still fun to watch.
Melee's not that fast-paced of a game. It's fast-paced for a Smash game. It's a very fast Smash game. I agree with you there. But for a fighting game, Melee's not a very fast game. Anime fighters anime fighters in general are like the fastest fighting games on the market. They're so fast. Melee doesn't even come close to being as fast as some of these anime fighters.
But again, it's just another tournament. Like so many more mechanics. There's recovering. There's neutral game on the stage. There's so much more you have to think about.
Okay, recovering and neutral. That's in every fighting game.
No, there isn't. You don't fall off a platform in other fighting games.
So is the platform the only thing?
Do you know where the Smash community got the term neutral and recovery from? Street Fighter 2.
I'm sure they did, but it doesn't.
That's where they got. If you listen to the Smash community talk, they borrow key phrases from the OGs.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that. I'm just simply saying, I'm trying to understand your points, but everything you say doesn't make sense.
I think.
It depends on what I'm.
Hold on. Let me make an attempt at translating the situation here.
I can't wait.
Okay. So, I get it in terms of, okay, so Jake has primarily enjoyed EVO in relation to watching Melee.
That's literally the only game that I even care about at Melee, and now I'm not.
So even though it doesn't make sense to Aaron and I think to us, it's like we look at it and think, to people who aren't as interested in Smash, it's like you play a Final Destination style level, like they make the Omega mode or whatever, where it's like the flat stage. Mm-hmm. So you can do all that. You can Fox, you can have Falco, you can have all that stuff. So why does it have to be in Melee? I think the disagreement, it just comes down to the some of these other titles and franchises moved on a long time ago. Nintendo or Smash didn't, because Brawl was so completely different and the competitive scene rejected it completely. Then U was better, but like it was a step up, but it was still like, no, Melee's still the king. So then they finally gotten to a place where they're close, maybe not 100% there, but I think people have watched Melee for so long that it's kind of this weird idea to just suddenly abandon it to someone like Jake, who is used to Melee being the Smash game at EVO. Whereas it's not that strange to think that people aren't playing Street Fighter 2, Third Strike, 4, because each iteration that Capcom has had has been competitive and acceptable to the fighting community, because that's literally what those guys are making those games for. Whereas Sakurai,
yes,
he was never interested in making it that's never been his focus in the design of Smash in the first place. He's never focused on it being a competitive thing. His whole motive and whatever behind making Smash in the first place was making it like a more casual experience that everyone can enjoy. Whereas you get teams of people working on fighting games for Killer Instinct and for Street Fighter and for Dragon Ball, like their whole drive is to make something for the competitive scene. It just so happens to be that Melee, it was kind of like an accident. Like it just happened to be just competitive enough that it really does stand out amongst all the Smash titles. Is that, if that makes sense? It is kind of a unique situation for a franchise.
But at what point, does that mean because it was a unique game for its time, does that mean that it therefore has a dedicated slot at EVO for the rest of EVO's lifespan? Because at what point, now that we finally have a Smash game that can be played competitively and people don't complain about it like they did with Smash 4 and Brawl,
right?
And Project M, EVO couldn't do Project M because it wasn't an official Nintendo product,
right?
At what point does EVO be like, need to put the hammer down and be like, everyone else has moved on, Smash community does too?
If you consider the circumstances in this situation, I think EVO might be forcing it, whereas I think in other situations there was like a mutual understanding of like people were cool with it. Like the community of people that are into Street Fighter were cool with moving on to Street Fighter. There wasn't like this struggle. And so if you consider, Smash came out very late last year. When is EVO?
August.
Okay, so
2nd.
it's in August. So you're talking like 8-9 months. Might just be that they forced it a little too soon.
Until Mr. Wizard, Joey Cooler, or whatever his name is, announced it, everyone within the Smash community, except for that one retarded kid, I can't remember his name, was like, Ultimate's awesome. Like, everyone liked Ultimate. The FGC liked Ultimate, the Smash community liked Ultimate. Like, everyone liked Ultimate. They're like, this is a good game. And then as soon as Mr. Wizard's like, well, since everyone seems to like this game, this will be our Smash representative. And then the Smash community just blew up. They're like, nah, outrage.
It's because everyone still likes Melee with every other fighting game franchise.
When you say
like the old one.
Well, now hold on just a second. Here's the counterpoint to that. and that is up until 5, you know, there was a good reason to have Third Strike at Evo for quite a while, because it had like a parry system that was like unique to that franchise that they didn't have in 4 and they didn't have in some of the other ones.
It's still huge in Japan. Like Japanese still play Third Strike.
It's still pretty big locally.
So I think you could make arguments that, you know, it's not that people move on from those older titles and other series just out of like they don't like it anymore. It's more just there's not as, again, I think Smash is a very unique set of circumstances because you have games that are designed to be competitive, and then the successors may not be, you know, 1-to-1 comparatively. Like just take Street Fighter 4 compared to 3. So you look at it and it's like, okay, it doesn't have parrying, and it doesn't have the same characters, and it doesn't have the same stages, and blah, 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 blah. It was still, like, competitive enough that I think that community was willing to be like, you know, let's play this.
Third Strike came out. The Japanese loved it. They brought it over here, and they played it at EVO. Moment 37 happened. The Daigo parry between Daigo and Justin Wong happened. And all of a sudden, like, they're also that everyone started paying attention at that point, started paying attention to FGC history, because that was just such a historical moment, you know. That was Daigo parry was like the AG
shot heard around the world.
Yeah, the shot heard around the world. It was like literally the AD BC period for the FGC history. You know, like there's everything that happened before the Daigo parry, and there's everything that happened after the Daigo parry.
Yeah.
You know, and because of that, everyone was like playing Third Strike. And then a lot of people who didn't like Third Strike just kind of faded away, and the community started kind of dying off because you're just constantly seeing the top. Same thing that's happened with Melee. You were just constantly seeing the top players competing with the same characters. You know, instead of it being Falco versus Fox, it was constantly Ken versus Chun-Li, and it was the same people. It was either Daigo or Justin Wong or Mikado or Tokido. You're just constantly seeing the same people. And so because of the FGC actually started slowly dying after that, and then Street Fighter 4 came out, it brought back the scene with it, because people were like, oh, here's a new fresh start, because it's untreaded path, there's new combo systems, there's a totally new universal mechanic, and then you started seeing new names again. And I think that's basically why Evo decided, like, hey, let's put in Smash Ultimate there, because just like with Daigo and Justin Wong and Third Strike, we now have Mango and Armada, or Leafin and Armada, and we got Falco and Fox, Falco and Fox, Falco and Fox. And they're wanting to just keep that. They're just wanting to create a fresh scene for new people to come in, equal opportunity.
Yeah. And from a viewer standpoint, like if you look at the you know, they're probably tracking the numbers and they're looking at the stats and what the audience was into. Now, Melee has aged well. It has. It's a good looking.
It is a good looking game.
You got this brand new Smash with shinier graphics, and then you've got new characters, and you know, like that's like money. That's like cash money right there. It's like, you know, people want to see what's this guy's name? They want to see Joker from Persona.
Piranha Plant came out.
Piranha Plant. I don't see that being as big of a draw, but yeah, like
I think that's pretty cool.
But you know what I mean? I'm talking like that crossover stuff has been really popular for them. Like I think Smash has exploded in sales.
I have a couple things to add.
Okay.
Please.
First, one thing Aaron said was that one of the issues with fighting games was that, or fighting games that stay too long, I guess, is that people use the same characters. You see the same like players in the finals all the time. But for Melee, I don't see that at all. Jigglypuff won EVO 2016. Peach won 2015. I don't see that at all.
Wasn't it still always like either Mango versus Armada, or Mango versus Leafin, or Mewtwo King versus Armada, or Mewtwo King versus Leafin?
Well, yeah, but the point is you're not seeing the same characters over again. Just because it's the same player doesn't mean it's boring to watch.
Evo, moving on from Melee, doesn't do with it not being interesting or anything like that. I just think that it's a thing where it's like they want to find a replacement and they want to move on because like they want to make money.
The other issue I have with this is because they could have just not included it and it might have gone over a little better, but the fact that they made a eulogy style video to skip off made it even worse. That's just an insult to the entire community.
Why is that an insult? Why would it?
It's an insult because they're basically saying, you know, we know that you guys wanted to see it, so we're just gonna flaunt all this other footage that we already have just to make you want it there even more, but we're gonna tell you that it's not there.
I thought they were paying their respects to it. I thought they were pressing effort to say their respects.
That's the point. That's what's so wrong with it. It's not a dead game yet. They're treating it like it is.
They didn't pay their respects to Guilty Gear, and the Guilty Gear community, yeah, they were disappointed, but they weren't throwing baby fits about it. They were just like, all right, it's not EVO, who cares? We're just gonna keep having tournaments. In fact, I just went to a Guilty Gear tournament just yesterday. And no one cares that Guilty Gear is not at EVO. Like, people were sad about it. They're like, I wish it was there. But they were like, whatever.
When you say it's not a dead game, are you talking about in terms of interest at EVO, or do you mean like there's still a ton of interest in the game? The only reason I'm asking that is like, dude, there's tons of games that like are far from dead. Street Fighter 2 is so freaking classic. Like, I don't think Super Turbo's ever gonna die.
No, it never will.
Super Turbo is like the gold standard. It's like a near perfect game. It took them like, you know, several iterations to finally get there, but like Super Turbo is, you know, far from being dead. And same thing with Third Strike. People love that parry system. There's still not a ton of fighting games that even have a parry system. Did I tell you guys that Grace got rid of their tube TVs finally?
Aww.
They had these tube TVs on these big carts, and they got rid of it. And
they didn't just throw them away, did they?
I don't know. I have no idea where they went. There is
That makes me so sad when people just throw out TVs.
Yeah, I have no idea if they threw it out or gave it away or what, but it's gone. And there is a flat screen TV, like rigged up to that cart now. Like it's like mounted on that cart. It's just not the same.
It's not. In fact, you know, TVs are actually getting stupider now because Samsung's newest TVs that are coming out come with McAfee antivirus already pre-installed on it, and you can't take it off.
You need antivirus software for a TV?
You do now because they're going towards these smart TVs now that are basically like their own computers, like they're using internet to watch stuff like Netflix and Hulu.
That's very strange.
So my brother-in-law has a Vizio TV that I think he got from Walmart, and he can't even use the apps on the TV anymore because they stopped supporting them.
Wow.
So then now he basically can't even use the smart TV features of it. Because
so now he has a TV with tons of lag because smart TVs are known for their lag.
But sooner or later, if you want to buy a new computer, you're gonna have to start looking for a TV instead of an actual computer.
Hopefully there's enough people out there to rise against it. The PC community is actually pretty strong right now, and I hope that it stays that way. We went through an era of like people loved PCs up until like about 2003, 2004, at least gamers did. And they're like, you know what? They're actually making consoles a lot better and a lot cheaper. So then there was like a complete marketing shift over to consoles from like early 2000s into late 2000s. And then we've slowly started going back towards like the PC gamer mentality.
I have a guess what that's unrelated.
What?
I have one Mega Man left of the NES releases. I finished Mega Man 5.
Nice.
Was it really hard?
At times, yes. Dude, Mega Man, that game in particular, there's times where you're just like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to do this without rewinds and save states and blah, blah. And it's just like, I can't wrap my head around it, and it's just ridiculous. And then there's actually moments of really good design. Like, I actually felt like this Wily fight might be my favorite. I think this actually seems manageable without save states and rewinds and yada yada.
Just wait until you get to Mega Man 7.
Dude, so I've actually played quite a bit of 7. There's like this weird like clown boss. Dude, that guy is ridiculous. That guy's ridiculous.
You think that's hard? The Wily fight is pretty much widely considered to be the hardest one in the series.
Wow. I'm not looking forward to that. I still think I like Mega Man X more than any Mega Man I've played, but I really like 2 and 3 a lot.
I have trouble getting into the X game because...
Really?
I've only had experience playing classic games. I really like X, but like X2 and 3, I can't. There's some about them I just can't.
That's really interesting because I've had people tell me that they think X2 is better than X1, but that would surprise me because X1, man, it's really good. I really don't even know if I want to play any of the ones beyond X3. I might.
I tried playing 8, and like that game just seemed really hard to me.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to the least. I really want to play 9 and 10.
9 and 10 are really good, especially I played 10 before I played 9, but I think they're equally as good.
Nice.
You know what the best Mega Man game ever is that you guys aren't even talking about?
What?
I'm ready to...
Mighty Number 9.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of which, I played Mighty Gunvolt Burst. That was actually a pretty fun game, and it has the character from Mighty Number 9 in it.
Really?
It's like a way better Mighty Number 9 game, essentially.
Someone brought in a guest character from a game that flopped? That's interesting.
Yeah, they really did, and I'm pretty sure they brought him in. I swear they brought him into that game before they were even finished with Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that came out before Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, but I played Mighty Gunvolt Burst on Switch because it was like right after I got my Switch, and it was like I just wanted to play anything, and so I got this game. It was not bad, you know. It was a pretty decent game.
You know what's funny about Mighty Number?
What's that?
The people that kickstarted it still don't have a release date for the 3DS version.
That's crazy. You know they're probably not even going to release it at this point.
No, they're probably not. That game failed horribly.
Yeah. It wouldn't even be worth their time. Like, so they would need to provide copies for their people who asked for that, but then beyond that game's not going to sell.
I'm in Loot and Go Lane right now. I don't have Kane here.
Oh, you're in Luke Lane?
How'd you get there?
I talked to Warvis after we killed the demon lady.
Oh.
So you made it to Luke Lane?
Yeah, I'm in Luke Lane right now. I just don't have Deckard Cain here to talk to because I never found him.
Here I am running around frantically like, where's this piece of paper so he can go to the next one?
We still need that paper because we still need Deckard Cain.
Yeah, we still need Cain.
Cool.
Well, good talk, guys.
Yeah.
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 This will be another fun puncast, huh?
Puncast.